and welcome to Global Insight, where we update you on the latest events around the world. I'm Joy Adesuwa Iromoseli. In the main stories making global headlines right now, 7 dead in suspected migrant smuggling car crash in Germany. About 400,000 persons displaced in Gaza as UN appeals for $300 million. Irish police seize €3.9 million worth of cannabis in Dublin. Global Insight begins today in China, where Vice President Han Zheng on Thursday reaffirmed the necessity for China and the US to continue holding talks at all levels in the light of global situation. Han stated this when meeting with the US representatives who were in Beijing to attend the 5th meeting of the China-US Eminent Person Forum. He said that talks would help enhance mutual understanding and trust, build consensus, properly handle differences, and create favorable conditions for practical cooperation in various fields. He noted that the world's 2 largest economies, China and the United States, share far more common interests than differences and need to strengthen win-win cooperation on economic and trade, science and technology, as well as meeting the climate change. Han also stated that China had always viewed and handled its relation with the United States in accordance with the 3 principles of mutual respect, peaceful coexistence, and win-win cooperation. He expressed the hope that representatives at the forum will have candid exchanges and make proposals on the development of China-US relations, wishing the forum complete success. According to the US representatives, US-China relations are important to both countries and the world at large, and they look forward to discussing cooperation and achieving practical results through the dialogue at the forum, while contributing wisdom to bringing US-China relations back onto a sound and stable track. Also, at least 7 persons were killed and several others were injured after a van believed to have been carrying migrants overturned in the southern German state of Bavaria on Friday. According to police spokesperson Stefan Sontag, the van, which had Australian license plates, was carrying more than 20 people when the overturn after being flagged down by police. The driver and suspected police smuggler survived and is among those injured. Sontag stated that the police had no information where the people were from on their nationality. The injured, which included women and children, were taken to nearby hospitals for treatment. The van was reported to have traveled about 50 kilometers towards Munich from the border between Austria and Germany when it tried to escape the police checkpoint. The van's driver sped up the vehicle when he realized it had been noticed by the police. Officials blocked the roads leading to the Munich and launched a probe into possible homicide. Recall that in September, Interior Minister Nancy Faeser announced that Germany would be increasing police checks on known trafficking routes in order to curb migrants entering the country. And since early October, Germany has increased controls along its eastern border to prevent migrants from entering the country. In another development, more than 400,000 persons have fled their homes in the Gaza Strip, and more than 20 aid workers have been killed since the start of Israel's retaliatory strike in response to a deadly Hamas incursion. The UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs stated on Friday that the agency launched an appeal for nearly $294 million to help about 1.3 million people in Gaza and the West Bank, of which nearly half is programmed for food aid as supplies run out. As mass displacement continues in the Gaza Strip, the cumulative number of internal displaced persons which increased by 25% over the past 24 hours, now exceeds 423,000, of whom over two-thirds are taking shelter in UNRWA schools. In the meantime, Israel's military has told some 1 million Palestinians living in Gaza to evacuate the north. According to the United Nations, this is an unprecedented order for almost half the population of the sealed-off territory ahead of the expected ground invasion against the ruling Hamas military group. The UN has warned that so many people fleeing en masse would be calamitous. Hamas, which staged a brutal attack on Israel this week, dismissed the order as a ploy and called on people to stay in their homes, adding to the widespread panic. The evacuation order, which includes Gaza City, home to hundreds of thousands of Palestinians, sparked confusion among civilians and aid workers already running from Israeli airstrikes and contending with a total siege and a territorial-wide power blackout. Palestinians would only be able to flee south within Gaza as Israel has completely sealed off the territory, a narrow strip of land about 25 miles long. The directive came on the heels of what the United Nations said was a warning they received from Israel to evacuate 1.1 million people living in northern Gaza within 24 hours. Suffering in Gaza has risen dramatically, with Palestinians desperate for food, fuel, and medicine, while the territory's only power plant shut down for lack of fuel. The mortuary at Gaza's biggest hospital overflowed as bodies came in faster than relatives could claim them. Elsewhere, cannabis was with an estimated street value of almost 4 million euros has been seized by Irish police. The drugs were discovered during the search of a vehicle on Wednesday in the Documdra area of Dublin and the search of an industrial premises in Dublin's Fairview area on Thursday. Cannabis with an estimated value of 420,000 euros was discovered during the vehicle search, while cannabis worth 3.5 million euros was found during the Fairview search. The seizure is part of Operation Tara, an initiative aimed at disrupting the drugs trade in the Republic of Ireland. And finally, on Global Insight, South Korea's capital announced plans to strengthen surveillance to avoid a repeat of last year's crowd crush that killed almost 160 persons at a nightlife district during Halloween festivities. Seoul Metropolitan Government is to implement a people counting system which automatically detects crowds through closed-circuit televisions and notifies authorities of danger signs. The system is reported to become operational from October 27. According to Seoul City, a software that analyzes population density will be connected to CCTVs that automatically counts the number of people in an area. When the system detects a large crowd, it will send an alert to disaster safety teams at ward offices, the city government, fire authorities, and the police. Recall that at least 158 people were killed in South Korea's deadliest civilian crowd crush almost a year ago, and those killed were trapped in a 3.2-meter wide alley that connects the main street of the central Itaewon neighborhood to an area with restaurants and other establishments. The tragedy shocked the country that's well known for its safety and sparked an extensive investigation into authorities handling the crowd crush. Ultimately, the head of Yongsan Ward Office, chief of the police station in the district and at least 15 others were indicted over the incident. Now, the city government, police, and fire authorities will hold a simulation drill on October 25 to check whether the crowd detecting system works and to ensure the coordination between the agencies operating swiftly. Seoul has an extensive network of public surveillance cameras that are a core pillar of its anti-crime and public safety strategy. A total of 909 cameras will be installed in 71 crowded places in Seoul by the end of the year. And that's it on Global Insight today. Many thanks for staying with us. I'm Joy Adesuwa Iramasele. Do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It is Voice of the People TV. And on other social platforms, it is VOP TV Live. Good afternoon.